Welcome to our sixth episode of our Anti-Post Cheltenham Chats. And joining me tonight is the Bookie's foe. How are you this evening?
Grand. Very warm.
Well, you must be somewhere a lot more tropical than I am then.
A little bit, yeah. Feliz Navidad, as the man says.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So this week we're having a look at the Ryanair.
Yes.
Very good. So just having a look there at last year's winner.
Hello.
Yeah, very impressive.
Indeed.
So what do we need to look at with this race then? What's important to kind of bear in mind when we're choosing?
The Ryanair, age-wise, it's plenty of 10-year-olds have won it. So older horses can win it. So the Ryanair was introduced because it's right smack bang in between the Champion Chase over 2 miles and the Gold Cup over 3 mile 2. So you have horses running in this that are not fast enough for the Champion Chase, but they don't get the Gold Cup trip. They don't have the stamina to get the Gold Cup. So it was a really, really tidy race to introduce for intermediate trips. It's grown in stature over the years. It's a proper Grade 1 in its own right now. It was a little bit of a nothing race for a couple of years, but you've proper horses turn up for this race now, Pen. And I actually love the race. I love it. And you can have younger horses win it. You can have older horses win it. So age-wise, I wouldn't go overboard looking at the age. You have horses that have come back. What was the name of that horse? There was a horse that Tony McCoy rode, and I think he won it 3 years in a row. Can't think of his name now, to be honest. But it can be a very profitable race because.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So what's the market looking like then for this race?
So you've last year's winner, Allaho, is the favourite, and he absolutely destroyed them last year, and could quite easily do the same again. He comes alive in the spring. He comes alive at Cheltenham. He's a fabulous jumper. He's a massive horse. But like we say, Pen, we don't back horses at 9-4 or 2-1. We don't do that. We don't do that here. We like to find value for people. And that's what we have done. So, like I said, he's a likely winner, but sure, we'll overlook him. You have Shishkin second favourite. Sure, he'll run in the Champion Chase. Envoy Allen's very interesting. Obviously, we have him at a reasonable price for the Gold Cup, but he's been very disappointing. He could easily turn up here and win. We just don't know where Envoy Allen's going to go, but for that reason, we'll overlook him. We've put our cards on the table with Envoy Allen. We're going to stick at the Gold Cup, but I've concerns about that horse. Energamine's going to run in the Champion Chase. Fakir Duderee is fascinating for this race. He's one that nearly made the two. He wants softer ground, but if he gets it on the day, 14-1 will be a massive price for him. He's been around, he ran as a juvenile, so he's been around a long time now at this stage, but he's still a youngish horse, loads of potential, could be still improving, and he's definitely a dark horse for the race, but he didn't make the two, because obviously we're looking at huge value. Protectorat 14-1. I wouldn't back him at 100-1. He needs a flat track. He needs good ground. He's very reliant on certain conditions, and he's not a Cheltenham horse. You can go down through it then. Asterion Falange needs to go right-handed. He's our King George horse for Boxing Day, by the way. Shan Blue needs a flat track. Chantry House is going to run in the Gold Cup. Lost in Translation's too old. Grenadine is going to run in the Champion Chase. And then you go on and you're just suddenly in a world of horses that, again, like we've said it before, just not good enough. Not going to run. But we have pulled two out at a big price that kind of fit the bill. The first one, we'll go for the big price first, and that is the Big Getaway at 50-1. Now, don't get mixed up with the Big Getaway and the Big Breakaway. The Big Breakaway is a Colin Tizard horse that might run in the race as well, has no chance. The Big Getaway,
right,
at 50-1, and people will go, "Oh my God, 50-1! What are you on?"
well,
there's a reason he's 50. Sorry, go on, yeah.
Obviously, what worries me is that we're not going to see that horse race over Christmas. That's all. That was
Wow, fair play to you. That's very observant of you. Well done, well done. No, you're right, and it is a bit of a concern, actually, to be honest. Trained by Willie Mullins, owned by the Donnellys. So he's right, the right trainer, the right owners. But you're right, he hasn't ran for a year now. He ran at Christmas at Leopardstown last year. He won by 10 lengths in a novice chase. He's not entered over Christmas, and that has to worry you a little bit. I haven't heard. I had to be in touch with a lot of people, and nobody's come back to me and said he's an injury or there's something not right with him. Now, Willie's had a very slow start to the season because he had to rip his gallops up. There was something wrong with his gallops. The ground is not soft enough for Willie Mullins as well. So he's having a slow start to the season, but I'm telling you now, he'll have a big finish at the festivals in the spring. As he always does, but I think it'll be particularly good this season. So I'm going to factor that in. All these things are factored into his price, but if you can overlook these things, and they can be easily overlooked because there's lots of reasons why a lot of Willie's horses haven't run yet. So overlook them. Suddenly now you have a horse here at 50-1 for the Ryanair, who won his novice chase at Leopardstown last Christmas by 10 lengths to Cedarwood Road. And I think Cedarwood Road is a weapon of a horse. So that's really good form in my book. He's decent form at Cheltenham. He was third behind Envoy Allen in the Ballymore in 2020. So we know he handles Cheltenham. He's very lightly raced. He's only ran 8 times in his life, is it? Yeah. And whatever he did over hurdles, which was decent, he was always going to be better over fences. He's massive. He's absolutely massive, he is. And as I said, he won his novice chase at Leopardstown by 10 lengths. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Well,
like Cedarwood Road now, who he absolutely annihilated. He beat him by 10. It could have been 20 lengths. Cedarwood Road's rated 143. So if he had to beat him by 20, that's 163. This is a potential monster of a horse, I'm telling you now. But the negatives that come with it are factored into the price. So we would like to see him getting out at least at the Dublin Racing Festival in February. And we want to see him winning that easy, and his price will absolutely collapse. I hope he's not injured. I certainly haven't heard anything, but for a horse that was beaten a few lengths by Envoy Allen as a novice hurdler, and he was always going to be better over fences because he's so big, he's huge scope. I'm more than happy to put him on the table. I think it's one of the most exciting ones.
I think you're right.
Because if he can win his first 2, maybe come out at the Dublin Racing Festival, and then maybe sort of mid-Feb and win again, he'll be about 7 or 8-1 for the Ryanair then, you know. And at the minute he's 50s. So it's like the stock market. You've got to try and predict the future. And I think that's potentially a ridiculous price. Great. So we're happy to pop him up.
We are, definitely. So what's the second choice horse then?
Well, the second choice is Janadale. And Janadale is 16-1 in the place. And I'm more than happy because, like, you know, there's only like 6 ahead of him in the betting. And 3 of them are definitely not going to run in the race. So that would make him 4th favourite. So you're getting 16-1, about a fourth favourite. So you have JP McManus as the owner. You have Willie Mullins again as the trainer. Can't get much better than that. He runs on the 28th of December at Leopardstown. In a which one is he's not going for the Savills, is he? It could be the Paddy Power he's going for. So he's running over Christmas at Leopardstown. He was fifth in the Albert Bartlett Novice Hurdle in 2020. Now that's over 3 miles. It was very, very soft ground that day, and he was fifth of 18.
Wow.
And the horse is in behind him, but the horses that only just beat him. You have Monkfish, won it. Latest exhibition, who was killed a few weeks ago. That's really sad. A fabulous horse in his own right. Fury Road, Time Hill, who's one of the favourites for the Stayers Hurdle. Now, Janadil won't get 3 miles, but he still finished fifth in the Albert Bartlett, which is 3 miles. So the Ryanair, so he's a big, big stamp of a horse. So the pluses we have here is we're hoping it's going to be better ground and he'll improve for that. But he comes back to 2.5. He's going over fences. And if you think he was fifth in an Albert Bartlett, that's a huge, huge plus.
Yeah.
If he's fifth in an Albert Bartlett and if he can improve under those new conditions, he has to be bang there. He has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we're going through the market there, and it's very, very, it's a huge grey area. But he's going for the race. He's young. He's improving. He'll improve for a fence. He acts around Cheltenham. He was fifth in one of the strongest Albert Bartletts that was ever run. There's very few negatives, and he's 16-1.
Well,
so I am absolutely delighted to pop him in there.
Okay, good. Well, this is what the chart's looking like now. So it's filling up nicely, I think.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of potential there. And obviously, as you see,
go on, sorry.
once we want, we are going to have that chance at the end before Cheltenham, just to then, for any movement or any horses we know we need to replace, then we've got opportunity to do that, haven't we?
Well, there's none that are dead. There's none that we can say they're gone. The biggest negative is Envoy Allen. What price is he now for the? We tipped him at 8s. I think you get 20s now, would you, for the Gold Cup? Envoy Allen. Hold on. Let's have a go at him here. Janie Max. Oh, well, 20s. You can get 20s. Or you can actually get 25s. You can get 25s, but he concerns me. But the rest of them I'm excited about. Do you remember Gaillard de Menil, who we have for 20? He's 25s in the Stayers, and then he ran in a novice chase. He was a little bit disappointing. And because of that, I'm hoping that Willie is going to now keep him over hurdles. And if that's the case, then that 25s will be huge. But the others, I'm more than happy. Blue Lord, like we tipped him at 20s, and then he absolutely hosed up a fairy house. What's he for the Arkle now? Let's just have a look. I think he's about 8-1 now for the Arkle, I think.
Oh wow, we've got him at 20, so
which is great. So the way we're going to advertise a pen, when we're calculating our stats at the end of the festival, is each horse would be a tenner bet. It'll be a 5 for each way, and that's how we're going to calculate our performance.
Yeah, well, I'll leave all that to you, don't I? I don't do the maths.
Like in reality, we do have 500 each way,
Oh, not quite. Not in that league just yet. But keep it moderate and make it realistic.
Yeah. So that's it. I'm delighted with that.
Lovely. Well, what we're going to look at next week.
Do you know, there's something I didn't prepare for at all.
Oh, so we're going to have a little bit of suspense, are we? Not say until next week, and it'll come as a surprise.
Oh, sorry, I should have had that.
That's all right, don't worry.
I should have had that ready, but I've been eating olives all day and drinking cava and getting sunburnt and, you know, looking at dolphins off the coast of Africa. And
Goodness me!
sorry,
Wow.
sorry,
It's all right
sorry,
for fun.
sorry, I forgot now which one we're going to go for.
Well,
let me have a look. It's too early for the Supreme. We've done the Arkle, we've done the Champion Hurdle, we've done the Mayor's Hurdle. National Hunt Chase is too early. Ballymore is too early. The Brown Advisory, yeah, I think we'll do the old RSA. The Brown Advisory, so the novice, it's the Novice Gold Cup, basically. The Brown Advisory Novice Gold Novice Chase, which used to be called the RSA. We'll do next week.
Do that one next week. Well, you know, hopefully you've got time to fit us in between your olives and your carver and getting burnt, you know, while I've got frostbite and peeling potatoes for Christmas. So how the other half live, hey?
Indeed. Well, I'm actually with a young lady next week while I'll be doing the podcast, so I'm sure it'll all be done very, very prim and proper.
All right, well, we'll see, won't we?
Yeah.
Listen, very Merry
Indeed.
Christmas to you. Have a fantastic day tomorrow.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah. Just on that, as it's the Christmas, I think Asterion Forlange is going to win the King George, and is currently, if he jumps round, now he's an absolute lunatic of a horse. If he jumps around the Kempton on Boxing Day, he is currently 7-1. That's massive. If he jumps around, he destroys these. Absolutely destroys them. So if anyone's listening, Asterion Forlange for the Gold Cup, but you need to just understand that he's a bit of a lunatic, and he may just run through a fence instead of jumping it.
Well, I'll be checking on your Facebook, I'll be checking on your Twitter feeds and seeing what else you tip over the Boxing Day in the coming days anyway.
Yeah, we're going to be very active.
Yeah.
Over the 3 or 4 days, so very active. But the tips come at the last minute. We don't advise hours or days in advance. It's last minute because.
Well, you wouldn't be the bookie's foe otherwise, would you?
the bookie's friend. All right, Pen.
All right, take care. See you soon.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.